Welcome to Advent of Tessellations 2023. I'm Madonna Yoder, and I hope you will join hundreds of origami folders around the world in folding this daily challenge to increase your origami tessellation folding skills, so the twists and repeating patterns folded all from a single sheet of paper. In day 24 of Advent of Tess, we're folding this pattern that I call Cogs. It's got open triangles in the back, same as day 13, around a closed hexagon center. So let's go ahead and jump in. Then we resolve it with the open trapezoids around the edge. So that closed hexagon in the center, we have our mountain folds coming out to the corners of the paper. And notice I'm adding them one at a time as I go around, and making sure to add their valleys as well, so I don't have to refold them when they pop out of place. And I'm gonna bop it, grab it, twist it. It might look really ugly at first, but you can smooth it out into a nice, happy little hexagon twist. And you definitely want to do the smoothing out by like pulling on things with your fingers before going in with a bone folder. And now we're going to do our open triangles on the back side. So go ahead and flip your paper over. We're going to do these open triangles as densely as possible, which means that the valley is in line with this folded mountain that's already in place. And the mountain is one spacing further, with our target triangle sitting just above the mountain. Then our third grid line will finish the outlining of our target triangle, and we will be able to squash that twist in place. Rotating, I'm going to pull the pleat out from under the triangle. It's kind of hidden there. And we'll do the same thing. And I'm moving a little bit quickly because we did see this in day 13. But we're going to set up that pleat right on top of the existing pleat. The pleat going under the corner of our first triangle that is finishing off this triangle. And set up the rest of our twist. Then we're going to do that exact same thing again a few times. And again. And again, once more before we get to the final triangle, where we'll do a little bit more pleat management. Okay, so for this final one, my valley is coming straight out from the closed hexagon hole, and my valley is actually going to pop down the mountain from the first triangle. I'm going to lay that down all the way flat. Make sure the rest of my triangle twist is set up in there, and let the pleat from the original triangle fold flat again. So now all three of my corners are tightly constrained, and all of my pleat overlaps are exactly the same. So once I have my open triangles around this central hexagon, I can flip back to the hexagon side, and I'm going to take a look again at my finished piece and say, okay, if I have two triangles contributing pleats to this, where is the third single depth pleat? Turns out it's actually making a tube with the pleat going vertically from the triangle that is more counterclockwise. So exactly the same reference that we had yesterday. And in this case, we have a little bit harder time realizing that, as in making it into reality, because that is going to be really tangled up in the next overlap over. But we can see in the finished piece that it's not going to be tangled forever. That's going to, these layers are going to go away once the sixth trapezoid has been folded. But for right now, I'm going to open up the layers above, fold in my new pleat. I'm going to find the middle of the 3 single depth pleats, follow that mountain out to the edge. And one thing that I can notice here is that the corner of my trapezoid is hitting where the valley of the next overlap comes in. So I'm going to leave it a little bit 3D as I squashing from the stable side over to the less stable 3D side. And I'm going to let this fold closed on top. So continuing around, we're going to have a little bit easier time with layers because we went to the less cluttered direction. And I'm going to have my valley going up 1 space away from the folded mountain there, my mountain 1 space further away. I can set up that pleat, and I'm going to follow the mountain of the middle of these 3 single depth pleats. Follow that out, and 2 spaces below that grid line is going to be the valley for my double depth pleat of the trapezoid. And coming around, I'll repeat the process. And one thing that I want to point out here is that what's decided from the central hexagon and the triangles around it is that there are 2 pleats coming together at a 60-degree angle. And that means they could match up with a rhombus, they could match up with a trapezoid, they could match up with a hexagon. But it doesn't say, and the rhombus and the hexagon are going to have one orientation that they can join. The hexagon, even if you rotate it around, it's going to look the same. The rhombus has only one way where pleats are coming together at that 60-degree angle in here. And so the trapezoid is the one option where you can wiggle. It's like, are these 2 going to be middle and right, or are they going to be left and middle? So there's options. And I'll get into that in the variations video today. And then there's more options when it comes to how you resolve these 2 pleats that are headed towards each other once they actually meet. But that is a topic for advanced twist techniques, and if you want to see all the options I've explored, you want to check out Tessellation Garden, my portal that has all of the currently 430 something and growing fast different tessellation designs, photos and crease patterns, and the works. And so coming around to this final one, as we set up the trapezoid twist, it releases that fold that was there before, and everything can be free from extra layers. All right, so happy folding. Definitely post a photo when you finish this one. Use hashtag Advent of Tess 2023, and make sure to tag me at Gathering Folds so I can see it. And I hope you'll join me for the final day of Advent of Tess tomorrow, where we're going to be using the same trapezoids, but a different hexagon and triangle. We're going to be using an open hexagon and closed triangles. So happy folding, and I'll see you tomorrow.